So in today's video, we're talking about the most underrated tip when it comes to losing weight, losing fat, getting in shape, and it's not what you may think, so stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's Anthony Munda. Thank you for tuning in to another video. Really appreciate your support. Hope you guys are doing awesome on your journeys. You know, you're well on your way to like the best version of yourself and just, you know, living your best life. Like, that pumps me up to see that and to hear about your guys' story. So always feel free to like keep me updated on your journeys and ask any questions that you ever want, and I'll be there to answer them for sure. Just came back from the gym. That's why I'm rocking this little hat here. Hair's a mess under it. And I was there and I was kind of thinking of something, like, and we'll get into the tip in just a minute, but I just want to like preface it a little bit. So you hear a lot that even coaches in the fitness or weight loss industry will say, like, you just need to have more willpower, or like you need to build that dedication, or, you know, you need to build that discipline, which is all very true. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know how much more willpower I have, or anyone who's in shape has more than the next person. Now, I think to a certain extent, some people do. I think, you know, that comes down to like a biological standpoint, how you were raised, you know, what type of personality you are, all that. So there's a lot of different factors, but willpower and discipline don't play such big roles in weight loss and getting in shape as people may think, right? So here's the tip. You need to optimize your environment for weight loss, and that's around your house, so wherever you're living, your environment, like your physical environment, and the people. Okay, so first off, we're gonna start off with the environment. Okay, so the way to optimize your environment is to, look, you gotta keep fresh fruits and veggies around the house. You gotta go grocery shopping. You gotta keep, you know, healthy snacks around and stuff like that. And what you do, like with high calorie snacks, or like things that you have a hard time not eating if they're in the house, you know, you don't put them at eyesight. Like, you're not just gonna, like, here's a good example, like I see in a lot of houses, my family does this sometimes, we'll have like a bowl of M&Ms like on the counter or something like that. Now, like, you need more willpower to keep saying no to that, right? So after a while, that's gonna wear off. Like, you're only gonna be able to say no 100 times. To the 101st time, you're like, oh man, I just want some M&Ms, I'm gonna have it, right? But the person that you think may have a bunch of willpower, but the only thing they're doing different is just optimizing their environment. So that bowl of M&Ms is never in their house. And then you see, like, in social situations, when they're able to make correct decisions, like at restaurants or you know, anything like that, when they pass up on stuff, that's because they've, okay, now they have a little bit of willpower, but it's more so as they see and they understand that, you know, what they put into their body, they see what that's done for them, okay? They've seen the physical changes, how they feel, and like, you know, the mental changes and stuff like that. So there's not necessarily like more willpower. It's just people optimize their environment better to decrease their chances of, you know, performing unhealthy or like, you know, unwanted habits. So that fit person that you may see who you think just has a lot of willpower because, you know, they have a little bit of abs or they're just in really good shape or something, they don't have, you know, just cake like on the counter, or they don't have like a bunch of brownies like in their pantry that are like really easy to get. Like, they don't bring that stuff into the house, so they're optimizing their environment. That way, you don't have to use willpower if it's not even there in the first place. You get me? So like, willpower does play a role at times, because at times you're gonna have to just do what you don't want to do. But you can decrease the likelihood, or you can increase the likelihood of your adherence by optimizing your environment, okay? So make sure you're going grocery shopping once per week, because, like, you know, we hear a lot like, oh, I just had nothing to eat, so I had to go to fast food. Like, you gotta prepare. When you're doing this lifestyle, it's not difficult, but you have to make certain sacrifices and you have to prepare. Like I just said, you can't just freestyle your diet and wake up and say, oh, what am I gonna eat today? Like, you know, you have freedom to eat all foods, but you gotta kind of have some idea of some healthy foods that you can have, and you do that by going grocery shopping, picking out things that are healthy, low calorie, nutrient dense, and stuff like that, and keeping them around the house and in like your eyesight, right? So the veggies aren't buried in the bottom of the fridge, or whereas the brownies are like right on the kitchen counter, right in the pantry where you can easily get them. Okay, So that's one thing. So optimize your actual environment. So, you know, grocery shopping, keeping like high calorie foods out of sight so you're not tempted to eat them in the first place. If you have high calorie foods in the house, put them away and wrap them in tin foil, package them up so it's harder to get to. You make it difficult, and that's going to decrease the likelihood of you keep going back to that. And then, you know, another option is to not even bring them in the house in the first place, which will, like, I always say, like, you can't snack on what you don't have, right? So if you don't bring something unhealthy or high calorie into the house in the first place, there's no way that you are going to be able to eat it because it's not going to be available to you. And that goes all the way back to my point of, like, you know, people don't have like necessarily more willpower than you, or you're not just like a lazy, unmotivated, you know, non-dedicated person. You're just not optimizing your environment. So you may have said no to something 10 times or 100 times, but you're gonna crack eventually because like that food or those, you know, those bad habits are actually very rewarding to our brain and stuff like that. So if you just if you make it more difficult, if you make it less obvious so you don't see it all the time, you're gonna be less likely to do it. So like I said, grocery shopping, keep foods out of your sight, keep healthy fruits and veggies, whole foods around the house so that you actually have the option to eat them, because if they're not in the house, you're more prone to just going out to eat and getting something, going to fast food, or making a bad decision about something you may have around the house. So you got to stay prepared and you optimize your physical environment. Now I want to talk about the people, which is probably even more important. You need to keep people around who have the same goals, like, physically almost, right? It is very hard to strive and to thrive in an environment when you're trying to lose weight, when there's all people around you who don't live healthy lifestyles or who don't have the same goals as you. Like, you can definitely do it. I'm not saying that you can't, and I'm not saying it's even an excuse, but it is so much harder. Like, I'm sure you guys have experienced this. Like, if you're at home or if you're with a spouse who, you know, is kind of pushing back the healthy eating ideas, stuff like that, like, it's very hard because number one, you're going to feel like you're not supported by anyone. And number two, they're going to bring unhealthy stuff into the house. They're going to, you know, continue to do those bad habits, and it's going to be around you, and their mindset and their energy is going to take the effect on you. So I understand in some circumstances you kind of just got to push through it, you know, depending upon your age or your intricate, you know, situation, stuff like that. Like, I get it, but maybe like friends-wise, like, you can't hang out with a bunch of, if you really want to get in shape and you really want to lose weight, you cannot hang out with a bunch of people who just want to like party every weekend, or, you know, they go out to eat like 3, 4, 5 times a week, right? It doesn't make them bad. Your goals and their goals just don't align. Maybe they're really, focused on a different goal where, you know, at this certain time, fitness and health isn't a main priority. But for you, like, if you're watching this, I know that you're probably not, like, you want to make changes to your body and you want to feel more confident in your body. So you need to make sacrifices. So if that's not hanging around certain people who don't have the same mindset and the same goals as you, who may be, you know, sacrificing your, you know, the choices you make, or, you know, decreasing the likelihood that you're successful on your weight loss and fitness journey, then, you know, it's gonna be more difficult, right? So you gotta, I'm not saying, I talked about this in another video, you don't have to completely cut them off, like just go cold turkey, like, hey, I'm not talking to you, but maybe you can just kind of start pushing back a little bit, you know, not hanging out with them as much, or find more. A really good point, and what has helped me is finding more people who have or who think the same way and who want the same things for themselves as you do. Because if you're around people who want the same things for themselves as you do, you're gonna, you know, work off each other. There's gonna be accountability, and you're not gonna be like, there's not gonna be that chance that you're gonna have to sacrifice your goals and your wants and needs just to try to fit in or try to please them, right? Because you guys are like aligned, okay? So get more people, like, talk to people in the gym. I know you guys are going to the gym. Like, you'd be surprised the relationships you can make at a gym. Like, a lot of people, like, they put that like mean mask on when they're working out and stuff like that, but we're all one and the same, right? If you're at the gym, you know, you want to get better. Like, I don't care what you look like, where you come from, Like, you're there to get better. You want something more for yourself. So don't be afraid to just make a relationship in the gym, you know, like a family friend or a friend or stuff like that, and keep them around and try to, you know, build off their habits and spend as much energy and time with them as you can, because again, you'll build off that. So you have to, so this is the most underrated tip, because like it's a more like psychological thing and it's not a technical thing. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to give you this, you know, fat burning ab routine, you know what I mean? Because that would be much more, it's easier to apply. This is more difficult, to have to not bring certain foods to the house, or to take certain like precautionary steps to decrease the likelihood that you're going to emotionally eat or do a binge or something like that. This isn't something technical. This is something you have to work on over time, and you have to actually dig deep and figure out like what's going to work for you, because there's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Yeah, so it's not it's very underrated, because it's not talked a lot about in the fitness industry, because you can't sell it, basically. Like, if I'm being completely honest, you can't sell like a psychological tip, or like, you know what I mean? It's much easier to sell a workout routine, where if I was going to tell you, you know, if you do this workout routine, you're going to have abs and you're going to lose, you know, 50% of your body weight and you're going to be happy forever. Like, that's a lot more, you know, I can market that a lot better than, hey, optimize your environment, keep better people around. Like, you can't charge for that as a service. So that's why that it's very underrated. I hope you guys like really consider doing this. Again, environment-wise, go grocery shopping at least once a week. Keep fresh fruits and veggies around, like available within eyesight. And then if you have high-calorie foods in the house, kind of bury them away. Don't put them like on the counter or the table, or in a little bowl or something like that, because you may say no 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, but then the 10th time you're gonna give in, because we only have so much like willpower built up for the day, right? That's why we all have trouble eating late at night, because we've went to work, we've dealt with family, dealt with friends, dealt with people, so we're just like worn out. So you have to decrease the likelihood that you're going to be even able to binge or overeat or something like that, and you do that by, you know, grocery shopping, keeping all the healthy things like within eyesight, and just kind of burying all the other stuff. Or you just don't bring it in the house in the first place, because what you don't have available, you can't eat. Okay, think about it that way. And then optimizing your environment with people. So keep good people around, keep people around who are going to support you, who have the same goals as you. You can't, like, if you really want to be successful on your weight loss journey, if you really want to make progress and be a different person and start living a better life and a different life, the one that you imagine for yourself, you can't hang around with people who are just satisfied with, you know, like, not just satisfied, but they don't have like health and fitness goals. Like, that's not a main priority in their life, which again, I totally get it. It's totally fine. Like, everyone has their time. But like I said, if you're hanging out with friends who just want to drink on the weekends and go out to eat, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, it's going to be hard for you to be successful, because you're going to feel like you're an outlier, or you go and it's going to be hard to make good decisions over and over and over. So optimize your environment. Again, like I said, it's not a very attractive tip, but it's so important, because that's why we make the decisions that we make. It's like a kid growing up in a certain environment. Like, we all have certain reasons why we like certain things, because we have different experiences and stuff like that. So pay attention to what's around you, so that you don't have to use up all that willpower. Because even like myself, like, I don't need to use willpower on a day-to-day basis, because I don't, number one, like with the gym, it's a non-negotiable. So I don't have to wake up and negotiate with myself, well, you know, working out is good for me, or I need to go work out because, you know, people are watching me. Like, I just go because I built it into my routine. So there's no willpower involved, which helps you out the rest of the day, because you can save that energy of having to psych yourself up to go to the gym. And then like nutrition wise, like, I have healthy and like low calorie stuff available to me, because I keep it around. So like, I'm less prone, like, do I have it sometimes? Yeah, but like, I'm less prone to making bad, you know, food decisions, because it's not super readily available, okay? So really optimize your environment. Like I said, watch what's around you, really start to think about that. And yeah, man, it's gonna really help you if you really take it into consideration. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really appreciate your support. like I said in the beginning, I hope you're, just living your best life. 2019 is off to a great start for you and everything like that. And if you ever want to reach out to me, I'm always in the comments, always on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. I respond to every single thing. So I appreciate every single one of you who watches, comments, likes, all that. Just very grateful. So, all right, thank you for watching the video. I'll talk to you soon.